Alright guys and girls, welcome to another episode of Astro Auto Repairs. Can you dig it? Alright guys, you're going for a ride with me down the rabbit hole with this 2003 Dodge Grand Caravan with the 3.3. Alright guys, we got some information. We're going to try some things out in this episode. Coming up on Astro Auto Repairs. This channel is a member of the Astral Stars, which means we have a zero-tolerance policy against the harassment of others. Anybody who violates that policy will be banned. For further information, please visit www.theastralstars.com. Alright guys, here we go. We're going to try something out, guys. Me and Sylvia just looked at something, and the last time they had an oil change, what's the date, Sylvia? The
next oil change through was July of 2016.
July of 2016. Well, they could have had it done, just nobody put the sticker in there. But also, the registration on the plate expires June of 2016. Now, there is some paperwork that they had wanted a temporary registration in 2018. So, man, I don't know what the heck going on here. But anyway, here's our wires back here, guys. All burnt up. And this side right here is the harness that's going to the fuel injectors and maybe a few other things. So this is what we're going to do. What we're going to do here is disconnect this thing. Okay, we got to push that tab in right there. And unplug it. Okay, so now we're not worrying about any kind of short if it hasn't already shorted out the computer. And what we're going to do is put the battery in. Just check this out, guys. What we're going to do. We're going to put the battery in the vehicle, crank it over to see if we got spark. If we do, then I'm going to do is, because when I told you, when you get a wiring harness shorted out like this, them injectors are open full all the time, which means there's constantly gas pouring down into the cylinders, and it will cause a no compression, which could be the reason why the last shop told her, listen, this is done, you need an engine, because maybe they figured it didn't have no compression. So what we're going to do is do that, and we're going to check compression. And now, actually, we don't really have to. We can just crank it over and hear the sound of it. So let's go get the battery, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got the battery connected, and before we go any further, let's open up this box over here. And let's see here. We're going to be looking for either the fuel pump. There's the fuel pump fuse. And there's the relay. So what we're going to do is go ahead and take out the relay just to keep the fuel pump from coming on. Set that to the side. And first of all, we got our little spark tester here. Hopefully this thing will crank up enough. This battery is still good. It's already been sitting for a while. Let's take off one of our spark plug wires. Okay, get our spark tester between there. Now what's going to happen here, you want to go to Harbor Freight, get you a set of these. Now what's going to happen here, when spark comes through that coil and goes through there, this is going to cause it to light up right here. So it's going to flash. So as I'm cranking it, that should be flashing. So let's find out. Let's just start up.
Yeah.
All right. Ready?
Mm-hmm. It did light up.
It was flashing?
Yeah.
It was probably slow.
It
but
was.
Did you listen to how it sounded?
No compression.
It didn't sound like it had any compression. So this is where they said, listen, this is done deal. But it is cranking over kind of slow. So what we're going to do is see if we got just because this battery's been connected for a long time, so it's probably no good no more. So we're going to try to take a battery out of one of our vehicles and put it in here, hopefully get one to match up so we can crank it over faster. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we took the battery out of one of our vehicles and put it in here, and let's crank this over to definitely get a good listen for this. And our spark should be a lot faster now.
Yeah, it was. But it still didn't sound like it had compression.
Yeah, it sure didn't sound like it. Alright guys, so what we're going to do now is the back plugs are kind of difficult to get to, so I'm not worried about those right now. We're going to do our test on the front plugs. So what we're going to do here is, let's get a marker so we can mark our wires where they're going. And then we're going to be taking a 12-inch 3/8 drive extension with, I like the spark plug socket is a 5/8 swivel, two-way swivel. And we're going to do what's going down there. And of course your 3/8 drive ratchet. You can get a longer extension as well. Sometimes. And we're going to take these spark plugs out. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got all the spark plugs out and we marked the first two, but we didn't mark this one. Because look at this guys, look at this mark. We want to definitely take a video of this. This thing definitely caught fire down here. What happened, I have no idea, but it definitely was a fire here. And here's the spark plugs that we took out. And let me see, this one actually came out through the third cylinder. But you can see how dark those are. That tells me that there was a lot of gas burning down in there, except for the third one. Third one looks like it was pretty good, pretty much all right. So what we're going to do here, now that we got this on video, I can wipe this off. Dang, this...
You think so?
That ain't coming off of there, man. That was some fire. Fire. Alright, let's put number 1 on there. Alright, guys, the next thing we're going to do over here, on this side of the table, we got our Pittsburgh Quick Connect compression test. This thing is pretty cool. So we're going to find the one that fits this cylinder, which is probably this one. And then the other end of it, I think it's like 17, 18 bucks for this kit. And just connect them, it's like an air chuck. And connect it. So, we got these 3 out right here. We're going to get this hooked up to number 1 first. And that's all you have to do is just feel the way around there. And try to get that started. Oops. Try this way. Dang it. I ain't got time to be going through this for each and every one of them.
Maybe there's something wrong with that one. Because of the fire.
Nah, it'll be okay because the spark plug came out. I gotta make sure I'm... Oh, wait, am I using the right one? Huh. Yeah, it would help if I was using the right one. I think that's it. Yeah, okay. Just turn that till it gets tight by hand. Then we're gonna hook this up. And now when you do a compression test, guys, what you wanna do is put your foot on the gas pedal all the way. So you're gonna have the throttle open up so that you can take in as much air as possible. All right. And definitely, another thing is, you want to take out the other 2 spark plugs right next to it, because if it has a blown head gasket and you got this spark plug in there, you're still going to get compression. By doing this, if there's a broken gasket or something between there, it'll show no compression. All right, so let's get that, crank that over for a few seconds and see what we got. Okay, you want to stand back just a little bit, just in case something flies out of the cylinders.
That's wonderful.
Okay.
It's not supposed to stay up there. It went up to about 90, but it was like fluctuating a lot, and then but as soon as you stopped, it dropped.
Huh.
But it was fluctuating. It was like.
Let me make sure I got this thing connected good and all. And we'll be right back. Alright guys, I want to make sure this thing is tight. Let's try this again.
A little bit above 90.
That's not too bad, but it should be a lot higher. Alright, what we're going to do is now take this little button over here, release the pressure, and then we're going to move over to the next cylinder. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, we're going to try the second cylinder. Let's hook this up. Alright, let's see what we got now.
$120.
120 is a lot better than that 90. Alright, so we're going to release it. And then move over to the third cylinder. We'll be right back. Alright guys, we're on our third cylinder. Put that up. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, so we got two 90s and a 120. Oh, man. All right, what we're going to do, guys, let's release this pressure. And next thing what we're going to do is we're going to get a little oil and we're going to pour down the cylinders and see if that compression builds back up. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that in a minute. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we got our oil can here. And what you want to do is put in about two small, like here's these caps full, a quart of oil. The cap, you're going to use about 2 of them in each one. And 2 of them will equal 10 squirts of this. So we're going to put them down into the cylinders. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to do the other 2. We'll be right back. Alright guys, we put the oil down there. Next thing we're going to do is crank it over for about 3 seconds to get that oil to circulate around in there. And so we want to try to step back a little bit because the oil might squirt up out of it, especially the middle cylinder. Why did I hear some noise?
Yeah, I heard it.
Where did that noise coming from? Inside?
Yeah, somewhere, and I'm not sure. Inside the engine, maybe?
Huh. Alright guys, let's go over now and do our compression test again. Start off with the first cylinder.
Some did squirt out.
Okay, cylinder number 1.
Jeez.
What?
A bunch squirt out this time. Went up to about 100.
Okay, a little bit higher. Let's lift this down and we're gonna move on to the next cylinder. Be right back. Alright guys, we got it hooked up, ready for the second cylinder now. Man,
150.
it is going up. But man, I hear some funky noises inside there that I ain't liking. Alright, so let's close this up, open this up, and move on to the next cylinder. We'll be right back. Alright guys, we're on number 3 right now.
almost 150.
So our compression is definitely going up. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go back and check number 1 again. Be right back. All right, guys, let's get back to number 1. Let's try that again.
Almost 120, so it went up a little bit.
It's going up. It's good. But guys, the only thing that's making me nervous now is that we're hearing some kind of noise when it's cranking, and I don't know if it's coming from the bottom end. I don't know. But this is what we're gonna do now, guys, because we definitely gotta also check the back plugs, but they're a little bit difficult to get to. But being that we know that we have to take off this harness, remove this harness, we're gonna go ahead and pull this intake right up out of here, so it makes it a little bit easier to get to them back plugs. So let's see, while we're here, you know what, I'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, let's get this intake off here. The first thing we're gonna do is back here, the air temperature sensor right here, we're gonna unplug that. It's got a little red security safety tab right here. Just pull that back like that. Then there's going to be a tab right here. You're going to push that tab into the connector and unplug it. The next thing you do is get you a flat screwdriver and loosen up this clamp right here to the air tube. Okay, great. Now you got a tube right here. Go ahead, twist that and pull that up from the valve cover. Then what you're going to do is your air cleaner's got a clip right here and a clip way down over here. Pop that off. Okay. Pull this air tube back. Pick the assembly up. And take it out of there. We'll be right back. Alright, guys, now over here you have your idle air control valve and your throttle positioning sensor. We need to disconnect those. Now on your idle air control valve, the tab is underneath here. I'll show you in a minute, but what you want to do is just at the end of the connector, pick up and pull back. Let me show you that tab right there. There it is. And actually, that safety tab right there, that should have been in like that. And then pop it back into it. So it looks like somebody been in here and did something. Now let's disconnect this one right here, and the tab is on the top. And I'm gonna have to get this there, that tab right there. You're gonna squeeze that tab in and unplug it. Pull that to the side. Also, guys, what I forgot to do before you do this, let's go over here and disconnect the negative terminal on the battery. This is so tight because this is not the battery that boosts in here. Why couldn't they make this thing longer anyway, man? It's stupid. Alright, guys, we'll be right back. Alright, guys, the next thing I got is my 1/4" drive air ratchet. I mean, you can use your 1/4" drive regular ratchet. You're going to use an 8mm deep 1/4" drive socket. Now, the next thing we're going to do is disconnect our accelerator cable and our cruise control cable. Now, instead of trying to push all this and squeeze the tabs in and pull it out, what we're going to do is go over. Well, actually, let's disconnect it from here first. Open the throttle all the way up. Take the cable, twist it. There's a slot right there. Bring that out. Do the same thing to the other one. All right, bring that down. Now, our two 8mm bolts. If you don't have 8mm, you can use 5/16. I'm going to go in there. Take those two bolts out. Move that to the side. And just so you don't lose the bolts, stick the bolts back in the intake. All right, let's get that done, and we'll be right back. Alright, guys, the next thing we're going to do is disconnect our map sensor located right here. And this one has a security tab pushed in. So we're going to pop that security tab out. Take the connector right here, this little tab, push it down to the connector. And unplug it. Put that to the side. The next thing I do is your power steering pump reservoir. It's right here, held on by two 8mm or 5/16 bolts. We're going to go ahead, take the same setup. Whoops, dang it, I forgot I put those back. Take those bolts out and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got our reservoir out of the way. Stuck our 2 bolts in there. Next, we got 2 vacuum hoses right here. Just pull them off. This one right here, the big one, this is going down to your brake booster. So just pull it off and lean it to the side. Next, the intake is going to be held on by 8 10mm bolts. There's 4 right here, and there's 4 on the other side. It looks like somebody lost 2 of the bolts and just stuck in 2 regular bolts. That's okay as long as it still hold down. So what I'm gonna do is use my same 1/4 inch air ratchet, but this time I'm using a deep 10mm socket. And I should be able to reach back down in there. Oh, let me make sure I just... There we go. Yep, I can reach all of them. What the heck, man? They put this thing. They just said, "Oh, forget that." Tighten this down, so we're gonna get some 1/4 inch drive ratchet and get that out. So let's get all these bolts out, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got all the bolts off. Let's take out intake. Oh, had a little hose going right there to the side. Hose is cracked and all, but anyways. So, all right, so let's take this intake out. Now, I would really like to know. There's 2 bolts missing. Hopefully, the bolts didn't drop down in there, but I doubt it. But anything is possible, isn't it? And I can't see down in there. No, this thing would have locked up if it. Well. Huh. I don't know. Okay, now guys, we can get to these spark plugs in the back, and you really can't see them. But what we're gonna do here, let me see, 1, 2, and 3. So what we're gonna do is pull these off. Dang it. Get your hand down in here and you can't even. Oh, I tell you what. I got something for this. We'll be right back. Alright guys, what I got here is these are spark plug wires, spark plug pliers, spark plug wire pliers, there we go. And it grabs onto it and you twist it and you'll be able to pull it up. But I was noticing right here, this vacuum hose, this is the PCV valve right here. And we didn't disconnect this. And this just was hanging up here. And it goes right here on the intake. There's supposed to be an elbow here that comes across and go down. But I mean, not that this is the problem, but this thing definitely would run with a very high, idle very high. So now, the way these pliers work is to go down there, get it onto a set of, get it onto one of the wires, twist back and forth, and to break the seal, and then pull it up. So let's mark them and then get all those out, and we're gonna take the spark plugs out. All right, we'll be right back. All right guys, to get these back spark plugs, there's different ways of doing it. Some people take out the cowl up here, just get to it. I have done it by reaching to the side and got them, and sometimes I even got up underneath and did them. But our intake is out of it. I mean, that intake is so easy to take off. It might be easier just to take the intake, intake off, than to remove this thing, and you're gonna have to mess with all the wiper blades and all that. I mean, heck, it's not that bad. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go by feel. 1. And what I'm doing is taking my right hand and feeling for the tip of the spark plug, so then I know where to put the socket and everything at. There's number 2. And then there's number 3. Then I'm gonna take my 3/8 drive ratchet and go ahead and take them out. All All right, let's get these 3 spark plugs out and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got our 3 spark plugs out. Guys, look at the one came out the center cylinder. The ceramic is gone. I mean, that thing is gone. Holy cow. I'm not saying this is the repair shop's fault or anything. I think it's just a defect because it doesn't look like it was hit up against anything. Wow, that's messed up. That's messed up, yo. Alright, guys. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to crank the engine with nothing in it. So, we can, hopefully, whatever's in there, maybe it pushes out. I don't know what's going to happen with that piece. But luckily, it's ceramic, so...
What's going to happen?
It can... Maybe it'll break it up. No, eventually, I don't know what the...
Turn into dust?
I hope so. Or something. But let's crank our engine over for a second. And see.
You need to move that rag.
Here, Sibby. There you go, Sibby. Yeah. Alright, let's crank going. See anything come out of there. I don't know. I hear some messed up inside that engine. I hear something loose, man. Something ain't sounded right. Something ain't sounded good at all.
I don't see anything come out.
Alright, guys. Now what we're gonna do is get our compression tester, and we're gonna start checking these cylinders. I'm gonna start off with the 3rd one back here, and get this in there, and we'll be right back. Alright, guys, we got it hooked up to the 3rd cylinder. I don't have to step on the gas pedal, don't matter. We got the intake off, so this thing gonna suck air no matter what. A bunch of air.
I don't think it's all like it dropped. It went all the way up to 120.
Dang, it's dropped. Maybe I ain't let it tight up over. It did go up to 120?
Yeah.
Alright. Oh, there's something going wrong with this gauge, man. But, alright, guys, we're going to move to the next cylinder. And, matter of fact, what I'm going to do here, let me make sure I got this thing tightened up good. But it doesn't matter because I think it's the compression gauge that's messing up here, because once this thing has got a little valve in here that once air goes through, it stops it from going back. So this thing should not be going back. I guess that's what you get for paying 16, 17 bucks for this thing.
What you wet for?
Heck yeah.
Okay, it stayed. 120.
Yeah, something going on with that thing. All right, 120 is good. All right, let's move on to the next cylinder. All right, guys, we got it hooked up to the 2nd cylinder. Let's find out what that is. And this is the one where that broken ceramic was at.
That would be 0.
Oh, we got an issue here. We definitely, I think even with oil, I don't think that cylinder's coming up. Shoot. But, let me make sure I got this thing in there, right? Okay, it's tight. Make sure this is connected. Alright, let's try this one more time, Sibby, okay?
Okay. Nothing.
Alright, guys, we got nothing. So what I'm going to do now is disconnect. Matter of fact, before we go do anything, let's, and that's the one with that broken, did something happen? That thing break? Anything's possible. But that ceramic wouldn't bend a valve, or I don't know. But let's get over to the first cylinder and see what that comes up. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we're on our first cylinder now. Let's see what that.
I think you gotta do that one over. Because it dropped again.
Make sure. Stay there.
It's about 100.
All right. I'm going to put some oil in those cylinders. Well, the middle one I'm really concerned about, and we're gonna see what we got after that. Be right back. All right, guys, we hooked it back up to the second cylinder, put oil in it, I cranked it up to get the oil moving around. But I don't think this is gonna do any good. Yeah, buddy. Down the rabbit hole we go. All right, we got a serious issue here. I'm curious though. I'm curious what the heck is going on. So you know what we're gonna do, guys? This is the wiring harness that's messed up, right? So let's just get all that to the side. How about if we pull this intake up? Can we get to all them bolts?
The valve cover?
No, the
Oh, that one.
intake. Yeah, no, we got 2 bolts in there. So this coil has to come up. Is
Who
it
still
bolt?
has coil packs? One big coil pack.
One big coil pack. I know, instead of separate coils. All right, guys, let's get all this. Get our compression tester out of the way. Put it hooked up, and let's go. Let's continue going down the rabbit hole, guys. We're gonna pull this intake up. I want to pull that valve cover off. I want to see what the heck we got here. All right, we'll be right back. All right, guys, the first thing we're gonna do, let's take up our fuel rail with our injectors. We're gonna disconnect this over here. Now, you can try to use a tool to get in there, but we're gonna do this an easy way. Just take your 2 fingers, squeeze those 2 green tabs very close to that line right there, and be careful, because if the fuel pump was working, you're gonna unhook this and there's gonna be fuel spraying everywhere. But we already took out the fuel pump relay, so we should be okay, just like that. The next thing you wanna do is, guys, you gotta get one. Go to Harbor Freight, get you a big bill. Now, Harbor Freight calls it the Earthquake XT, but when you go up to the register, ask for the big bill.
Stop it.
All right, and then what you're going, it's a 3/8 drive cordless ratchet. Get you a 10mm deep 3/8 drive socket. Now, you're gonna have 4 10mm bolts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's get those bolts off, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, then your fuel injectors are going to be stuck into the intake, so you're going to have to just wiggle that out and bring that whole thing up with the harness and everything. And look at that harness now that we out here like that.
Sweet.
It is, and that's what's up, yo. All right, so we're going to put this to the side, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take up our coil. Now, looks like somebody had already had this unplugged, because that red tab right there should have been squeezed in, but the safety tab. But I already pushed it back out. They already pulled it out. So now, what you want to do is take, you know what? Let's get this out of the way so you can. Yeah, you go good.
We can see.
Squeeze that tab right there. Squeeze that down to the connector. And then unplug it. Dang it, it's gonna be kind of difficult to get in there with this. There, you get that out of the way. There, see that backed up enough. Squeeze that down, and let's get that unplugged. Dang it. And if you have a hard time like I'm having, what you want to do, you want to take a screwdriver, take this hand, squeeze down on the tab, take your screwdriver, and help you pull that back. Just like that. Alright, then you're going to take your same big bill, your ratchet, and your 10mm deep, and up here you're going to have two 10mm nuts, and on the back of it you're going to have two 10mm bolts, one right there and one right there. And next we're going to put this back on because we're going to take the wires out and everything together. Alright, so let's get our ratchet, go in there, and take those out. We'll be right back. Alright, the next thing we're going to do, guys, now all this is loose right here. Bracket and everything. But you want to make sure your wires are outside of this loom. What the heck, this thing is loose too, man? You can pull that whole thing off if you can, but if not, pop that out. Bring those wires around and do the same thing. Dang, look, that's all the grease and all right there. That's just dried up and all. And we're gonna do the same thing. Pull these wires from over there. I know it looks messy, but it's okay. It's all good in the house of Astral. All right, now we got that out. We're gonna take our whole coil, pick it up. Then we're gonna take this bracket right here, take that up, and we're gonna put this to the party line. We'll be right back. All right, guys, next thing you're gonna do, take your power steering pump reservoir, move it to the side. You're gonna have the coolant sensor right here. You have a connector. Now reach on the other side of this connector, and there's going to be a tab. Wait a minute. Yeah, figures. Somebody did some work to this before. There's a security tab in the back here, and it looks like it's already pulled back. But at the end, there's going to be a little tab. Push that tab in to the connector and unplug it. Yep, sure enough, there it is. The safety tab was already out. So move that to the side. The next thing you want to do, guys, is in the comment section, ask Sylvia where did she get these pliers at, so she can tell you.
Amazon.
These are hose plier, clamp pliers. These things are cool. It's got a little ratcheting system right here. So when you squeeze it together, see how it locks into place, and then when you're ready to release it, just hold it, push the lever in, and then it'll open back up. And these right here will twist, so you can get in any place possible. Let's try one right here. Okay, we got the big end right here, the little end right here. So the big end down here, the little one right about here. Let's go in there, squeeze it, and oh, wait a minute. How much antifreeze is in here? Let's go ahead. Okay. Dang it. Look at the cap, guys. Can you see that here? Yeah. We got another cap. This cap is old. It's got a lot of rust in this system.
So they were probably just using water.
Down the rabbit hole we go further. Alright, so we ain't worried about that. So let's go over here and get this hose off of here. Man, this thing. Son of a biscuit. Look at that rust on that thing. Oh, man. Let me release these things. Look inside there. Oh, man. I mean, heck, this thing might just need an engine with all this stuff going on around here.
That's why Byron said forget it. You need an engine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit here and try to fix every little thing.
No. Alright, let's go back here and take this one off. Oops. Cruise control's in my way. Release that. Now this is going to be kind of difficult because that thing's like glued in there. So what you want to do is get you a flat screwdriver, and what you want to do is try to reach in there and break that seal around that hose without damaging the hose. Side. Dang it, in there for a while. Be careful of that sensor at the same time. Alright, we got that off. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, we're ready to take up our intake. Now intake is going to be held on by 8 10mm bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and on the other side of the way, 7, 8. Now what you want to use here is a 10mm socket, 6-inch 3/8 drive extension, and try to use a wobble extension. And a wobble extension is this little extension right here that when you put the socket on it, it wobbles. You can get the whole set from Harbor Freight. And then you can go ahead and take that out with a 3/8 drive ratchet. I am going to be using my butterfly valve air ratchet, a 1-inch wobble extension, and a 10mm deep socket. And I'm gonna go in here and take those bolts out. And the reason why I'm using a wobble, because sometimes if I get down to here, a straight, I won't be able to get in there with a straight. But notice how the wobble goes right in there with no problem. So all bolts are the same length. Oh man, this engine's gonna be nasty inside. Let's go over here. All right, let's get all the bolts out and we'll be right back. All right guys, we got all the bolts out. As you can see, these 4 right here are the end ones that's going into a water jacket, which antifreeze passed through. But
You mean water pass through?
yeah, man, look at that, guys. That's all right. Anyway, let's pick our intake up and pull this off. And I put the bolts, the nuts and the bolts back in there for the coils and for the fuel injector rail. Let's put this down to the side.
Look at that one over there.
All right, this is the valley pan gasket right here, and it's held on by 2 10mm bolts, one right here and one right here. I mean, we don't have to take that up right now, but
What'd you see?
look down in there.
Oh, let me see if I can get in there. Is that showing what it's supposed to be showing?
No, go further down. Follow that valve stem down.
Further down?
Let me get a light. right there. That's that piece. That's
What is that?
that round, that little round, like a, I don't know,
Like a little.
ring or something.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Okay. Right there.
Holy cow!
What is that?
I don't know. I have no idea. But that head looks. I can see a gap back there. See
Yup.
a big gap?
I
Is
think
that
it's
part of the head?
broken.
The head is gone?
Look.
Oh
look,
yeah,
look.
yeah, heck yeah! Look at that.
Oh, I can't
What
focus. There.
What the heck happened in there? All right, guys. What I'm gonna do, guys? Let me go get a long screwdriver or something, so we can move stuff. But that head is busted.
So don't really need a whole engine
No
and use cylinder head.
head, and I will do both head gaskets.
Oh, of course.
Now, see, now this is now, guys. This is where the customer needs to be very honest with us, because we're gonna ask that customer, when this car was running, did it make any noises, or did it smoke?
Not at all.
Yeah, right. Did it smoke? Because if they say it smoke, we're going for an engine, because it could be the rings all messed up. But if they say no, everything ran good, it just stopped working on it, I don't know what the heck happened. What happened? Then if it didn't smoke, then we can go ahead and do some head gaskets on this, pull both heads off. But I guess we ain't gotta pull the valve cover off for this one, do we? I don't know. Let me get a screwdriver and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I got a long screwdriver. Let's see if I can, whatever's in there, I can move it. No, I ain't moving it. That ain't budging. Wait a minute. That's the valve bent up like that. Holy cow! The valve is bent up like a mushroom. No. If you took the microphone off, you might, if you put more of an angle down like this. We'll be right back, guys. All right, guys. First, check this. Guys, check this little light out. See that? Check the little. Bam! Look how little bright that is. Yeah, buddy. That's what's up, yo. Oops. All right. Let's see. We can go in there and look at this, and see if you guys can see that valve right there. Look at that thing.
Let me try to focus in a little better.
That sucked. I have no idea what the heck that is. Let me see if I can go a little bit up on the light. Holy cow, guys. Alright, now the thing is, we're still gonna pull this valve cover because I'm curious to see what we see up under here. The thing is, did that piston come up and mess this up? So is the piston itself messed up as well? And if it is, it's a done deal. But first of all, let's get this valve cover off. This valve cover has 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, wait a minute. There's a bolt back here that's loose. I'm not sure if they did the valve cover gas and they just left this one loose or whatever. About 8mm bolts. So what I'm going to use is, see if it fits. Yeah, 8mm deep, 3/8 drive with my 3/8 drive big bill ratchet, and you know, go around here, and let's get all those 8 bolts out. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we got all the bolts up. Let's take this. At least they did start that bolt. Dang it! I didn't do this bolt over here because I knew it was really loose. But they did start it at least.
Did they forget it?
Alright, we got this valve right here, the one that's messed up. And everything looks good up here. Good thing we took the intake off because we would have thought everything was good, but it wasn't. Man, that oil smelled burnt. Alright guys, now let me go put this to the side and we'll be right back. Ready? Oh, we're all going. Why you tell me we was recording right now?
You said alright, so I hit record.
Alright guys, hey, we down here already. Let's go a little bit further down the rabbit hole. We got our valves right here. Our rockers. A rocker arm assembly is held on by 7 10 millimeter bolts. We're gonna take that thing up, guys. So I got my 10 millimeter deep mode. Watch yourself a minute. And when you take this up, what you want to do is loosen them up. Start from the edges. Keep going back and forth, working your way towards the center one.
You're down over there twice.
Yeah. And then we go ahead and take them up. So let's get all those bolts completely out. But we're not going to take them out. We're going to leave them in there. But all separated from the cylinder head. Alright? We'll be right back. Alright guys. We got those out. But before we take them out, what we're going to do is get my butterfly ratchet. And we're going to take up the two 10 millimeter bolts on the end that's holding in the valley pan. Okay. See, our push rods go down into our lifters right there. There's some really gunked up stuff in here. So now that we got that to the side, let's take our rocker assembly, pick it up, let's put it down in the valley pan, and at the same time let's take our push rods. Push rods are all the same length. Make sure you have 6 of them. Put them in there. Take our bolts, let's put them back down into the block. We're gonna put this on the party line and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we're down here. Ain't no use in stopping now. We need to pull this head off to see what the heck is going on. Now I'm gonna do this a nice easy way right here. If you notice on this head over here, the exhaust manifold has 6 bolts going to it. 1, 2, dang, that's loose. Look at that. 3, 4, 5, and that one's broken off. Why
this one has those burn marks?
Maybe, but it wouldn't be over here though, like this. Oh no, that whole thing is all loose.
So there's a big chance that the catalytic converter is damaged.
Why? Because of the exhaust leak?
Yeah.
Check that out! Check out Simmy with the knowledge on that. That's right, guys. If you got an exhaust manifold leak, it can mess your cat up. Simmy's, oh, look at that. Yeah, buddy. Team Timmy in the house.
No!
Alright, guys. Check it out. So, what we got to do here is we're going to get a 10 millimeter shallow socket. And again, this is going to be one of the things you got to pretty much feel where the bolts are. We're going to get a 10 millimeter shallow with a 3/8 drive ratchet, and we're going to start taking these out. This one I might get an extension on here. Let me see here. Okay, we're going to have one right here. Wait a minute, is that loose or what? I can't, guys, there's a bolt right here, but this, heck yeah, it's loose. I can't believe this. Why is all these bolts loose on this manifold? Look up here.
So there's a chance both gaps are messed up?
Well, actually, this one just has the one. You can see this pipe. They got this crossover pipe right here that circles around, go into that one. And dang it, guys.
Oh, there is no bank 1, bank 2 cat?
Nope. All right, guys, these are definitely, all these bolts are loose. So this is going to come out. Yeah, guys, look at this. I am taking all these bolts out. Let's see this one up here. That one's a little tight, but it's coming out. So let's get all 6 of those out, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we got all 6 bolts out. Yeah, it's good. The next thing, we've got a wiring harness right here with a bracket for the wires, and it's got a 13 millimeter bolt down there holding it on. So I'm using a 13 millimeter deep. I should just get a 13 millimeter shallow. Oh, let me get right here. Here we go. 3/8 drive. Get that off. Pull that all to the side. And what we're going to do here is put this bolt back in here. Just like that. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, the next thing we're going to do is get this crossover pipe right here. This crossover pipe has 4 15 millimeter bolts. Here's one right here. And the bolt goes through here and it goes to these nuts on the other side that has little retainers that keeps the nut from turning. Now what I'm going to use is a 4-inch 3/8 drive extension with a 15 millimeter deep socket. And I'm going to use my air ratchet. I'm going to go right here to this one. Okay. Let's take it out. Come on. And then we're going to put this back together like that. I'm going to set that to the side. And then we're going to go up under here. And if you look right down over that side, can you see the other one?
No. Oh, there it is. I was in the wrong spot.
Sometimes you gotta break these things loose. What's going on right now is I'm turning that. Let's see if I can get it and look over. That retainer right there. Watch when I'm turning it around. It's got to go till it locks up against the intake or the exhaust manifold, and then it'll start loosening up. There we go. All right, let's get that off, and then we're gonna get to the back ones. Be right back. All right, guys, we took that out, and you can see that one's loose now. Why can't we be taking off this cylinder head? I'll be done, take that off and be done. Okay, well, we got the gasket between there. We're gonna put the bolt back in there. Now, even though this one went to the top, it don't matter. put the nut on it, and then we'll be back. Alright guys, now what we're going to do is, if you see back there, there's the top bolt going to this crossover pipe. And there's one underneath, but we're going to get that from the bottom. Now, being that these things are kind of tight, I'm going to use a 15mm socket 1/2 inch drive with a 1 inch or 2 inch wobble extension and my 1/2 inch drive telescoping ratchet. Let's get in there. You can see everything. Dang it, everything is moving because I shouldn't have. Oh man. You guys definitely use a 1/2 inch on this, because if you use a 3/8, that's going to be in there. And if that thing let loose, you're going to break your hand, cut your hand wide open. Now what I'm doing is turning it until that brace can brace it up and get it loose. Alright, great. Now that it's loose, now I'm going to go in there with my 3/8 drive air ratchet, 15mm deep. And get that out of there. And then once I'm done with this, guys, I'm going to be jacking it up and putting it up on a jack stand. Be right back. Alright guys, I got... Give me the mic. Alright, we got the vehicle jacked up on the passenger side, and add security, guys. Safety is number one. You see I got my jack stand up under there. Now we are working on the grass. The ground is soft. The jack stand will, not it maybe, it will sink into the ground. So you're going to need a solid foundation, a solid base for that jack stand. And as added security, left our hydraulic jack in there. Now I'm gonna go up under here, and Sylvia's gonna go to the top, and I'm gonna explain to you what we're doing. We'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm up under here. You're gonna have 4 bolts on each corner, 1, 2, and then 2 on the other side. They're 13mm bolts. I got me a 13mm shallow socket with my 2 inch wobble extension, and I got 2 12-inch 1/2 inch drive extensions. And I got my air gun up under here, 1/2 inch drive air gun. And I'm gonna go to each one and take them out. Alright, let's get one more. And we're going to get the other 2, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, we got those bolts off. As you can see, the cat is disconnected from it. Now we got our O2 sensor right here. We still got that bottom bolt on this crossover. I'm going to try something. Hopefully it works. But first of all, we got to go down here. The bottom one right here goes to that front O2 sensor. It's held in by 2 Christmas tree clips. So that's all you have to do is just grab it, pull it back, and there's the Christmas tree clips on the side. And now we're going to unplug it. Now there's the red security tab right there. I'm going to push that back, just like that. Now that tab right there, you're going to squeeze into the connector and then squeeze it apart. So we're going to go right here, squeeze it down, and unplug it. Great. Now what we're going to try here, guys, is, because that bottom one is really difficult to get to, so I'm hoping we can pick this exhaust manifold up and squeeze it with that wire pipe over there and try to get it out of here. This is bogus. This is not more than bogus, it's bull. No, it's not going to work. So what I'm gonna do here is twist it. Oh dang it, horns. This aftermarket horn is in the way. What I'm trying to do is twist it enough so I can get to that bolt on the bottom. Huh, that might be enough to... Okay, you look right through here, guys. There's that bolt right there.
Where? I think that connector might be in my way. Oh, okay, I got it. Yep, yeah, the connector was in my way.
Alright, so...
Can you get it from there?
Probably with the air gun, because that thing is really tight. And actually, wait a minute, I might be able to get that head off without doing it. But see, that's just backyard right there if I do try to get that out of there. So we're going to try to... Let's get my air gun and we're going to try to get in there. We're going to try to get that out. Be right back. Alright guys, got my 2-inch wobble extension, my 15mm shallow socket. And I'm going to try to get in there. Got it. Okay. Got our crossover pipe out. Got the gasket and the retainer. Let's put this to the side and we'll be right back. Alright guys, this thing definitely had to have a cat code. Look at that exhaust. What am I talking about, man? I need to get this thing out of here. Let's see if we can...
Cat code's probably the least of its problems.
Can I drop this thing down there? Unbelievable, man.
Well, can you take that out after the head?
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, if you have to change this exhaust manifold, you should be able to, without taking the head off. You know what? Forget it. Let that thing hang down there. Now it won't even hang down there. Son of a biscuit. Can I get to the bolts on his head? Yeah, I can. I think. What the heck? Okay. I can't get to the bolts. I just wish I could get this out of the way. That'd be a lot easier for me. Okay, that's better. This sucks. All right, let's see how many bolts we got holding on this cylinder head. On the inside, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm looking at about 8 bolts. All right, let's get a socket and all, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, first we're gonna loosen up the back ones. I'm using a 15mm deep 1/2-inch drive impact socket, and I'm gonna use my 2-inch wobble extension. And the bolts are lined up along, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, so you can see if they're lined up with it. Yep, they're lined up. Let's use our 1/2-inch drive ratchet so we can break this loose. Okay. Move to the next one. Where's the next one? Oh, right here. Alright. And then when I go to the top ones, I'm I'm going to take the extension out and I'm just going to use just the ratchet. So let's loosen all these up and we'll be right back. Alright guys, now I got them all loose. Now I'm going to use a 4-inch 3/8 drive extension with a 15mm shallow socket. And I'm going to use my air ratchet. And I'm going to go back here. Now, as I take these bolts out, I'm going to set them down because this one is a different size. I want to make sure the other ones are not. So we know this one goes in the back. So I'm going to set this up over here, just like that. And let's get the rest of them out. I'll be right back. All right, guys. All bolts are the same size. I thought they were different, but it does smell burnt in here. Something smells really burnt. All right, so let's grab us a pry bar. We'll go over here and let's pick this head up. Here we go.
Holy cow! Alright, I know you guys hate that. But this is the end of part 2 on this 2003 Dodge Grand Caravan, and make sure to stay tuned for next episode to see what happens
Down the rabbit hole we go
when we remove the cylinder head. Alright, so if you guys have any comments or questions, you can post it below in the comment section, or you can email Timmy at tim@astralautorepairs.com. Hope you paid attention. If not, watch it again. This is Sylvia from Astral Auto Repairs. If we can't repair it, nobody can. See you next time.